Ben Weinman and Mark Haka, bringing you the content that connects our community. You're watching Nonstop Local Montana at 6:30.
The bright lights of Vegas in the palm of your hand. Faster winds, faster falls. In Montana, the law is blunt.
There's really no form of internet gambling that is legal in Montana.
So why is it so sticky? Because modern games and gambling share the same playbook. Small goals, quick rewards, and perfectly timed nudges.
Games aren't meant to make you want to come back and play them. You're truly manipulating somebody at that point with their money.
Gambling can hijack the same reward circuits as hard drugs. And just like drugs over time, the brain builds tolerance, chasing bigger stakes, taking bigger risks.
Gambling disorder is the only process disorder that exists in the DSM.
And when losses pile up, the crash can be brutal, financially, emotionally, even deadly. And sometimes you don't get odds, you just get frauds.
Some of these sites aren't even allowing you to gamble. They're really just trying to steal your money.
In tonight's 360, online gambling, how this exploded, why younger adults are in the blast zone, what really helps, and we meet someone who's seen the highs and seen the lows. The bright lights and fast winds you saw at the top of the show, they're not just games. They're part of an industry that is changing faster than Montana's laws can keep up with. And experts warn tonight the consequences could be devastating. Thanks for joining us, everyone, for this 360 at 6:30. I'm Ben Weinman. From offshore crypto casinos targeting our young people through social media to apps designed to hook you, tonight we're taking a full circle look at how online gambling has exploded, what it does to our brains, and what help actually works. And to understand this crisis that we're facing today, we have to start with how we actually got here. For decades, gambling was tied to geography. If you wanted to place a bet, you went to a casino. But that changed in 2018 when the United States Supreme Court ruled that allowed states to legalize online sports betting. It opened the door to a new era of gambling platforms, many designed for the device in your pocket. And now a new frontier is emerging, offshore cryptocurrency-based casinos that operate far beyond state or federal oversight. Many are promoted by social media influencers, offering sign-up codes and free bets, targeting people in their teens and 20s. And even though Montana law bans all forms of internet gambling, VPNs and digital wallets mean these sites are still just a few taps away. And it's a rapidly growing, largely unregulated world. Experts tell us it's built to exploit how our brains work. The pull of these platforms isn't just chance, it's design. Game developers use what's known as a veritable reward schedule, small wins delivered unpredictably to keep you coming back for more. Online gambling platforms use that same science and then they supercharge it. They track your habits, they learn your routines, they time pop-ups, bonus offers, even push notifications to hit when you're most likely to click. The same pathological hooks that make a video game hard to put down are now being weaponized to keep gamblers spending. And without meaningful regulation, that manipulation is only becoming more sophisticated. So folks, tonight we're zeroing in on how illicit offshore betting shows up right here at home in the Treasure State and what help might be available. Our Ethan Jamba has been working on this story all week long. He finally gets to tell it tonight. Ethan, good evening to you. You probably have a lot on your mind this evening, but let's start with what more can you tell us on that growing national trend about internet gambling?
That's right, Ben, and good evening to you. Montana regulators say internet gambling isn't legal here, and enforcement focuses on illegal operators, not the players themselves. They've also emphasized that casinos like this are one of their top priorities recently.
Actually, every one of my investigators has worked a case like this, and it's not just here in Montana. We have a lot of joint investigations going on with other state gambling control divisions similar to ours, where we're trying to pull together resources as states to see what we can do to combat these sorts of things.
Despite the ban, access is easy through VPNs and crypto wallets such as Venmo. Investigators here have worked multi-state cases and say offshore sites create resource and jurisdictional challenges. They encourage tips from Montanans so they can target the providers.
Years ago, before it really took off and got as popular as it has, and I could speak for myself, it completely destroyed me in a short amount of time, because as it is real money.
Gamblers Anonymous members say the crowd has shifted younger, with some calls as young as 16, and that the behavior often hides in plain sight until debt and relationships start to slip.
I found myself up at like 4, 5 a.m., 3 a.m., just putting crazy amounts of money on stuff that I never even knew existed, and I would just put my entire paycheck on things, and the losses didn't even mean anything to me when it happened.
Clinicians say the hook isn't just chance. It's brain chemistry and design, variable reward schedules. The anticipation before the win drives dopamine spikes. Over time, some people need bigger risks for the same feeling, and co-occurring issues like alcohol or stimulants can make it worse.
Gambling affects the pleasure centers the same way that methamphetamine, alcohol, or opiates do. They target dopamine response patterns.
Game design experts say the same mechanics that keep players engaged in games can be applied online to keep better spending, and that young developers are being recruited into that work. Some decline on ethical grounds, others wrestle with offers.
As much as I love technology, and I love technology, I always worry. I worry about the unintended consequences of putting some of these things out there. It's too easy online. It's too easy to say, I can stop but then not stop. You're truly manipulating somebody at that point with their money.
Regulators remind viewers, if you pay to play a game of chance for a reward online, it's gambling. And in Montana, that's illegal. Check for licensing, read withdrawal rules before you deposit, and avoid any site that hides its location or only pays in crypto. For help, the Montana Council on Problem Gambling offers free, confidential counseling. And folks, I cannot emphasize this more, but we've also posted verified resources for those who are looking for help related to this topic. Reporting in studio, I'm Ethan Jamba, Nonstop Local.
Even through the voice modulation there, Ethan, you could hear the pain in that man's voice as he talks about his past. So this is really, really a big deal. Gambling addiction doesn't always look like what you might see in the movies. It can happen quietly, even in your own home. So look for warning signs of your family members, unexplained bank withdrawals or hidden financial records, mood swings tied to wins and losses, loved ones lying about how much time or money they're spending online, or chasing losses, doubling down to try to win back what's already gone. If those signs sound familiar, experts say it is time to reach out. And folks, as Ethan mentioned, help is available, it is free, and it is confidential. The Montana Council on Problem Gambling offers counseling and resources, 1-800-GAMBLER. You can also report illegal gambling sites directly to the Montana Gambling Control Division. They use these tips to help shut down those dangerous operators. Appreciate Ethan and our team for this story. And folks, by the way, if you got a problem, a concern, a question that you'd like us to dig into with this 360 lens, go in depth, let us know. Head to our Help Me Ben portal, send in your story ideas. What matters to you could become our team's next big investigation. We are just getting started on this Wednesday evening. When we come back, meteorologist Mark Haka joining us. Full check of that weather forecast. Kathleen Dozier anchoring our sports coverage tonight. A big night of high school and get you ready for a fun weekend filled of football. Keep right here. We'll be right back.